hey, it is your girl Nisi with Deniese IncTru, and today we are here on Mindfulness Monday. We are featuring a very special guest. Our guest is hailing from Yazoo City, from Mississippi, and we are so happy to have him here. His name is Mr. Carlos, Carlos Hall here for our Southern Soul artist. So, Mr. Carlos, I want to thank you so much for coming on to the Deniese IncTru Podcast. And I'm very happy to have a familiar face and someone from not too far from my hometown. I'm from Macomb, Mississippi. So great to see a fellow Mississippian in the place. So, how are you doing today?
Likewise, thank you for having me.
Right. So, um, all right. So, Mr. Carlos, before we talk about the man behind the music, I want to start with like the music itself, because basically, that's what introduced many people to your work. So when I listen to things like "You Got That Juice," one of my favorites from what I heard, and also one thing that I noticed is that immediately what stood out for me was the blend of the blues, the southern soul, and kind of like that modern energy too. So immediately I heard like the guitar work, the rhythm, and then the groove, all of that. It felt very intentional, within the song itself. So since I heard that you produced that track yourself, walk us through what you wanted listeners to feel when they first heard it as well.
I just wanted them to feel the natural part of it,
Yeah.
uh, and everything that is real. It's actually a true story about an occurrence in my life, and
Oh, okay.
also just felt natural going through it.
Yeah. Okay, so it's actually something that an occurrence that you had in your life and you wanted to, go ahead and put that in a song and, get everyone to kind of groove and move with it as well, but through the blues, through Southern Soul. So yeah, like I said, I really like that song. I was able to hear like the guitars, everything. It kind of reminded me like back in the day, my grandmother, she used to, well, within my family, we would always have those different parties and things. We'll have our parties on every Friday or Saturday, rotating them, and we'll always hear mass majority of the time is blues that we're hearing. We used to back home. We'll have the parties like at my auntie's house, my cousins, my mom's, and I remember one thing starting out like. Through the gambling times of when my grandparents and friend and other relatives, they'll have like the card parties. You got to put money at the door before you come in, and they have blues blaring and all that stuff. So I definitely just felt that rhythm and vibe like it was back in the day when I was listening to it. I really did. So it was a really good feeling. So, with you producing it, that music, I wanted to talk about like producing versus like performing. So, a lot of artists, they simply like perform records where they'll wear. I noticed that you wear multiple hats as an artist, producer, and DJ. So when you're creating music from the ground up, how much of Mr. Carlos is being poured into those records before the audience really does get to hear them? How much of yourself do you put into it?
Quite a bit. My first two songs, I wrote them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wrote them, and also as I write, I don't write from like a beat.
Mhm.
So I write the song, and as I'm writing the song, the beat comes to me.
Oh, okay. So you start off with like scripting it, writing it out first, and then you kind of weave in what that beat would be, what the sound would be based on those lyrics.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right.
okay. I like that. All right. So you put a lot of yourself into the songs. You make sure that it is orchestrated into a way that it's authentic. Starting off with the lyrics, and then you plug in the beats and everything afterwards. For the producing portion and DJing. So I wanted to go into like the meaning behind the song "You Got That Juice." So one thing I found interesting is that for the song "You Got That Juice," it isn't limited to like a man or a woman. I remembered hearing from you say from a previous interview. So I noticed that you stated that it's really about someone having that special quality or that makes people gravitate towards them, or basically it's something that the person has to make a person feel a certain way. So when you wrote that record, what were you hoping like people would recognize about themselves when they heard it?
For one, for the individual that was receiving is the feeling. Is that natural feeling that makes you feel good, that makes you, react in specific ways, or another.
Yeah.
Um, well, for the person that is hearing it,
Mm.
which is being in the description of it, is hey, here it is, and this is how I feel, and when I'm with you, and
Yeah.
how you feel.
Okay.
They hear um when they hear that beat, and
Yeah.
then they hear that chorus. Oh baby, baby, you got that juice. When mostly when the women hear it, yes, they have that bright smile. It comes to light, and it's like, oh yeah, that's me. You talking about?
Right. Immediately like, he gotta be talking about me. Yeah. All right. So I did like that one. I really do like that one. The beat, the guitar, all that stuff. For You Got That Juice. So you did write that record, and you were hoping for people to really get a good feeling, to feel like, hey, that's me in that song, really to be able to relate to it. So also with the song "Woman of Mine." I really did spend some time listening to that particular song, Woman of Mine. We have our like mental health, men's mental health awareness month. So this song, I really liked it because you were talking about this woman of mine, and most of a men's mental health. You want to make sure like your woman bringing you peace. You come home, she ain't nagging about it. Like, so I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. So in spending time with, I'm like, what stood out for me, it wasn't just the romance, part of the portion of it, just romanticizing about the woman herself. It was like the appreciation, the lyrics talking about the peace, the support, the comfort, the loyalty, and someone actually helping carry life's pressures. So during our portion for just signifying and celebrating Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, that message, it felt especially relevant to talk about, because a lot of men rarely talk about the importance of feeling supported. So I wanted you, if you don't mind, talk to me about what inspired the record, and why the message mattered a lot to you for that particular song.
Yes. Well, it initially began with a conversation with my aunt, and then it was a spinoff from there.
Yeah.
And again, it's in part to real life situation,
Yeah.
uh, and everything, and just as it begins, it says times are hard, things
Mhm.
have got rough. My woman never complains about
Right.
having the love she gives is all that I can stand. That's one reason I'm her number one fan. Your
Yeah.
lady for number one, or for in on the reverse side, or her man, that individual that they are entangled with, they have to be number one.
Right.
They
Right.
get it number one, not one day a week, but 7 days a week, 24/7. They are number one because they are in the closest person to you, and close knits, especially if you all are living in the same living quarters.
Yeah.
Uh, and all they are the ones that is there for you,
Mhm.
in whatever way you need. You
Yeah.
know, see, you can't really actually say that they are, but they should.
Right, right. They should be. They're supposed to be. That's what we hope. Because,
It-
baby,
because there's a foolish mix,
right, let's
with,
reevaluate.
you know, but at the top of it all, you know, my thoughts, the way that I feel personally
Yeah,
about this situation, when it comes to peace, that is top tier to me.
yeah, yeah.
If I can't have peace, I'm not gonna stick around.
Right. Peace has to be no, at least number one. Having the person being number one, then peace following after. Everything else can, like, kind of, fit itself in. But peace, number one. It can help a lot. Make everything work. All right.
So,
So we're just talking about different things about his songs. They're piecing things, dissecting things related to the songs and so forth. So now we want to go not just about the songs, but kind of to the accolades of things for Mr. Carlos. He has won numerous awards, and we wanted to go over those things with him too. So with your success and recognition, I noticed that you've received some incredible recognition, over the years. So some for like a humanitarian artist of the year. I did see like a new Southern Soul male artist of the year, and then performance honoree, and then one for number one records. And then one other thing that I saw was your recognition from Morgan Freeman's Ground Zero Blues Club. So, from my understanding, Morgan Freeman is also from Mississippi too. So, what an honor! That is quite an honor to have that as well. So, when you look at those accomplishments, which one carries like the deepest personal meaning for you, and why?
Well, I was told at one time when after I released my first song
Mhm.
and I heard about Ground Zero,
Yeah,
and it was like, you know, when you get to Ground Zero, when you are a performing artist at Ground Zero,
yeah.
you making some noise.
Right, right. When you
It's a
when
it's,
you made it that far.
it's a sense of accomplishment,
Right,
stage of accomplishment in your life.
right.
So I was, so excited. I performed there a number of times since the first time.
Yeah.
Uh, and but before then, I received the number one on the chart
Mhm.
uh here
Okay.
for Hood Idol Radio. Uh,
Okay, look at
uh,
that.
Mr. Carlos was You Got That Juice was
Yeah.
number one, uh, in all, and immediately after that, I was new male Southern Soul Artist of the Year,
Mhm.
for the Hood Idol Awards,
Yeah.
uh, and so I mean that was like top tier for me. Uh,
I bet
uh,
it was. Yeah, made it this far with ground zero multiple times and then getting that award too. Okay. Look at
yes,
you.
yes,
Well, what they
yes.
say, pop your collar. Going
Yeah,
on, moving up
and in the
onto the
same
east side. Look at you.
in the same year,
Yeah.
like maybe a month, 2 months before then, I was
Mhm.
recognized by my hometown. They have a thing
Mhm.
called the Yazoo Hometowners Club, and that's
Yeah.
a mix of individuals, men and women that are
Mhm.
originally from Yazoo City, but migrated out to other cities to
Yeah.
make their home there, but come back to Yazoo City, which was their birthplace, and they celebrate each other, and it's like a family reunion. So I
Yeah.
was recognized with a music award there, July the 6th of 24, and all. So I mean that was something, to be
Yeah.
proud of, and I do thank the Yazoo Hometowners Association, the Chicago chapter, for the
Yeah.
opportunity, and because they caught me with I was like I go to Essence. I was going to Essence every year,
Mhm.
and I love Frankie, and it's and that,
Yeah.
and if I'm not mistaken,
Mhm.
and from the demeanor that you have, and your investigative intensity, that you saw that I performed a Frankie Beverly tribute
Mhm.
at Ground Zero.
Yeah.
And you know, and so it was in a mix of things. So I got a phone call, you
Yeah.
know, and they were like, "You think you can make it to the Yazoo Day festivities, the dinner, and award ceremony?" And I was like, "Uh,
Right.
I
Like,
went to state," and then I was like, "I have some things already scheduled, but
right. They were like, "Oh no, move those things out the way. Come,
yeah,
come
yeah,
see
and
us."
it's like we would really, really, really like you to
Yeah.
um to be present at
Yeah.
this event. And I went ahead and said, I'll be there. I'll cut it off. I still went to Essence. I didn't stay as long as I would have liked, but
Yeah.
I did leave, and I made it to the event, and I was so glad I did take part in that activity, as well as I got to see some people that I hadn't seen, and some
Yeah.
people knew me that I didn't know.
See, that's
So
always a good thing.
you
That's
know,
always a good thing.
and it goes back to what I said, is like a family reunion.
Right.
You have family members out there you never met before. You probably heard of them, but you have never physically met them
Right.
before.
Like you
Uh,
hadn't just physically met them, but they know you and you
that's right.
and you
That's
yeah.
right. They know me through my elders.
Kind of
Uh,
like what's that movie I was watching a long time, Poetic Justice. You go
yeah,
to the barbecue, cousin.
yeah, yeah. Cousin Pete.
Oh good. Cousin Pete. Cousin Pete. Oh
Yeah.
goodness. Yes, yes. So I also with my investigative works now, I also saw that like with the humanitarian artist of the year, one of the accolades that really, really did catch my attention too was definitely for that. So yeah, that it tells me basically how much of an impact you have, like beyond the stage, the microphone, like you say, people knowing you, and knowing your name, and how far beyond that you people have been recognizing you and things like that outside of
Yeah.
the city. So that's really good, to be able to have that type of recognition and success. Now, I did also notice like how you had mentioned at one point in time about like the Southern Soul community, Southern Soul and the community. So that's really good to have that type of community, people recognizing you. And I noticed that you had said before that Southern Soul artists, they need to stick together and operate more like a family,
That's right.
based on so many words. So that's something that we don't hear often in entertainment. It seems like it's always like a rivalry or something like that, or always one person one up in another. But it's really good to hear that there are people like yourself that want to make sure that it's like a community, like a family. We're all out there to help one another, move up the ladder. So, what experiences have shaped that philosophy for you?
Well, this that thought process didn't start just with music.
Yeah.
These are my personal. The way that I move is who I am. You
Right.
know. this is not anything that I incorporate over here, but I don't incorporate it over to the right. But
Right.
this is as a whole for me. I would, if it was a perfect world and my thought process, everyone would be one.
Right. Right.
And I would really, 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 just be so ecstatic about that. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we all are who we are, and we all are made up differently. And then,
Yeah.
and stemming from, uh possible upbringings,
Hmm.
how you were raised, and things of that nature, that and where you were raised can depict your thought process.
Right, right. You are correct. It all depends on like either the demographic, how you were brought up, things like that. Not everybody, how they say, not everyone, operates the same, nor is cut from the same cloth type thing. So, it's good that although all of us would, like you say, in a perfect world, in a utopia, we would want that everybody trying to help each other on that same type of aspect, to have that type of leadership, naturally, to do those things as if it's like second nature. You're supposed to, that's what's supposed to do. But it's still good that there are individuals like yourself out there in the Southern Soul, atmosphere in the community that operate with that particular mindset. That's always good. So with that, that goes into like leadership. So I've listened like to your story. One word keeps coming up to me, and that is like what we're discussing is basically within leadership. So whether it was I noticed that you had mentioned something about like helping raise your younger brothers, setting an example, at home, and becoming like a leader in your musical community. Leadership seems to have always followed you throughout your life, basically what you're saying and from what you exhibit. So even with getting that humanitarian award and things like that, so that definitely shows that not only am I seeing it, and you knowing it, but the world is seeing this too. So, do you believe that leadership is like something that you're born with, or something life helps you, life develops in you through responsibility over time?
You develop that through responsibility,
Yeah,
uh and exposure, uh
yeah,
to different things, and all. It's just fortunately, that I'm a 70s baby. So
yeah,
anything before 1980, they had to get some mother wit. Now, when you begin
yeah.
to talk about mother wit, and you ask someone that was born in the 80s, they possibly probably won't know nothing you're talking about. Like, mother what?
Right. Like what? What you talking about? What you
You
talking
know,
about, Willis?
I would say 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s on up,
Yeah.
to the late 70s, 79, whatever. There were families that were close knit, that they had to work together to
Right.
make it. So
Okay.
therefore, when mom and dad would be at work, and they had younger brothers and sisters, they had
Hmm.
to assist the parents and help and raise and see after their younger siblings. And
Right.
a lot of times, unfortunately, some instances, those older siblings, they actually became mom or dad, because mom or dad, they passed, and moved on in this life,
Yeah.
and all. So they had to, learn
Mhm.
the nature of living and how to move at an early age. And I was one of
Yeah.
those.
So yeah, you were part of that mother with you actually did have to like take on that responsibility at an early age and stuff like that. You know, my I believe like what my sister within my own family, she kind of took on those roles. Like she was the older sister, and she was always like kind of like the motherly figure. So my, you know, when my mother had to go to work and stuff like that in Mississippi, you know, like where I'm from, I come from a compound back in Mississippi, you know, like where all the it's just family around us. It's no neighbors that we don't know. It's just nothing but family on the compound. So you can walk around and stuff. It's safe. So yeah, we're very familiar with it, and you know, always having my sister be like that motherly figure. That was something that we were used to, but she had to grow up fast within that text. So like yourself, so you with you sharing that, like I know that you were stating like at one point like your mother worked nights and stuff like that, that much of your childhood did involve like help and care from your younger brothers and stuff like that, while you know you were focusing on schoolwork and stuff and learning different things along the way, that caused you to, you know, have that level of responsibility, that leadership. So I like to know that those type of things, you know, when you were able to go through those particular things, it branched into who you are now and the humanitarian that we see today. So, in addition to that, I did want to talk about, like, as I was mentioning, like with Mississippi, I'm from Mississippi myself, from Macomb, Mississippi. So I wanted to get deeper into like the Mississippi roots. So, being from Mississippi, like with that, you know, I noticed that you had talked about like the card games and stuff too. So I related heavily with that, like the house parties. I was talking about like when I was a kid, like I remember we'll all go, like I told you, we're on the compound. We'll just go walk to my auntie house. Aunt Daisy was her name. Aunt Daisy's house, going through the little pathway, and like out here and take like in Texas where I'm from, like we're so used to yelling and stuff to say everything we say. So like they were like, "Why is she yelling?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm not back home, am I?" So just dealing with being able to go to the house parties and stuff like that, spending time around family, hearing the blues. At the time, it was called the blues, but then you know everything transitioned on over to like the Southern Soul category of genre. So that reminded me so much of my own upbringing, just because that's how many of us grew up. So, what are like some of those memories that still live inside of your music today?
Well, on the music side, what it brings about when I hear that you got that juice and I hear that guitar, I can
Yeah.
hear, John Lee Hooker, and
Okay.
Tyrone Davis and all of that there when I would be at the car at my grandparents' house when they would play cards on Fridays and Saturday nights and they
Yeah.
would have a record player going,
Smelling some
and
good old fish fry.
straight out the
Yeah, straight out the grease.
yeah.
Yeah.
And riding with my grandfather and just listening to the blues to and from wherever we were to be en route to at all times,
Yeah.
uh father he would go to Chicago. Most of his siblings, he was one of 18,
Mhm.
my grandmother birth, and he was one of two that remained in Mississippi.
Oh,
He
okay.
his oldest sister, they remained in Mississippi. Everyone else migrated. One uncle lived in Fort Mount, Virginia. Everyone else moved to Illinois, Chicago,
Oh. So
some part.
they moved up to the Chicago area and things like that.
That's right. That's right. And also, that was a long ride. Most of it I slept, but on at the beginning of the ride, uh, that sound was there.
Yeah,
Uh,
it stayed there. It stayed there. Okay. All right. So so being able to have those type of influences, those Mississippi roots, deeply you know, centered within yourself, you were able to create, you know, be able to use that as inspiration and towards your sound, and keep that keep that legacy of the sound and music going. So being like speaking of legacy too, so Father's Day is coming up, of course. So Father's Day and legacy is what I wanted to go over now. So as we celebrate Father's Day, I think about those different things like legacies, passing on a baton and things like that. So not just what we accomplish, but what we leave behind with legacy is very much important. So when people hear the name Mr. Carlos years from now, what do you hope that they remember most about you, like towards your legacy and things?
That, you know, I always have tried to help
Yeah,
and wanted the best for those that were around or
yeah,
near, um, and everything, and to to expose individuals to things that they not normally would, be exposed to, you know,
yeah,
uh, at any given time, when the opportunity will provide, and to show them in action, you know, what it means to be straightforward, honest,
yeah,
uh, and a true leader, and knowing, you know, how to choose a side and what side should be chosen. Uh,
yeah,
Anything, because I have a word that I picked up from someone else, that and when you don't choose a side, you still choosing a side.
yeah. That's deep. Yeah, so I like that. I like that philosophy. Being able to do that. So you're with that. Keeping that legacy, making sure that you instill those type of things, and others choosing the right things, choosing a side. I wanted to discuss like with the Men's Mental Health Month a little bit further. So with this month being that we are focusing on the Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, many men, I do notice that they carry a lot. You guys carry a lot of responsibilities, and most of those responsibilities sometimes it gets carried quietly. So where like you're just being providers, being fathers, being a leader, protectors, and even like having to deal with things silently, like stress. Some guys deal with stress and just you don't really get to see or even know that those things are occurring. So what has helped you maintain your peace and to stay mentally strong throughout life's challenges?
First of all, you have to have allow the Holy Spirit into your life, into
Yes,
your heart, to know who the Lord is for
yes,
you, and know that He is a being that you may not be able to see Him, but the Holy Spirit will allow you to feel His greatness, His
yes,
and His willpower for you, and know that He will never leave you alone.
right.
Uh, he has a ram in the bush for you. You just have to be patient and believe and have faith. But you can't have faith if you don't believe.
Right, right. You gotta have hope and faith. You gotta tie them in together, and you have to believe. You have to believe, have hope, and all those things have to tie in together. So that's really good for you, for what you stated. When you go through those challenges, being able to have that firm foundation, that faith, keeping yourself rooted in God, and having the Holy Spirit, all those things. That really helps with like the spiritual aspects. Because like if you don't just make sure having yourself being holistically well. And when we say holistically, meaning like the mind, body, spirit, all those things play, they go hand in hand, they go together. But your most main foundation, your most rooted portion is having that Holy Spirit, making sure you maintain your faith and hope. So thank you for that. Now, and that's something definitely that for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, that is something that, that needs to be said, needs to have that form of responsibility and leadership in knowing to make sure that you have that form of peace. All right. So now I did want to, before we closed out, I wanted to let our listeners know what are some ways that they can listen to your music, be able to support you, things like that. Where can they do that at?
Well, you can find my music on any music platform, iHeartRadio, Apple Music, um, you name it is there. YouTube, that's like the easiest one.
Yeah.
YouTube.
So with YouTube, do we like is it do we type in your name, Mr. Carlos, or is it Carlos Hall? How do we find it?
Well, you will find it by Mr. Carlos.
Mr.
Uh,
Carlos. Okay.
uh, Performing arts, I do not identify myself by my first and last government name. It's just
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Carlos Hall is another person.
Yeah.
So say uh, is it would be Mr. Carlos,
Yeah.
uh, and also from what I hear, um, you'd be greeted by a guy with a pretty decent smile, I guess.
Oh, you know what? But I can't let you go without mentioning this. So I saw you on the Oprah Winfrey Network. Tell
Yes.
us about that.
Uh, you know, um, I, I would say again, just speaking on a spiritual side, somewhere that he has said in his words that you know your name will be spoken in rooms that you never set foot in.
Hmm.
This ordeal with Bell Collective, I never saw it coming,
Yeah.
and and that's part of that overflow thing
Right.
and everything. Uh, and it's just it has been so fulfilling to me
Yeah.
in different situations that I'm so grateful that a person that doesn't know me but just hear about me,
Yeah.
and and they're like, okay, that guy, we want him
Yeah.
uh part of this, and just being a part of this is I'm just so ecstatic about
As
it.
you should. As you should.
I,
Oprah, come
I mean,
on. Of
now
all people.
videos with different artists, Willie Clayton, Jake Carter. Uh,
Yeah.
Video I was a part of was Adrena, Lady Adrena's video back years ago. But I have since then been I've been in probably maybe 7, 10 different videos.
Oh, okay.
Other people. I have a video, and then I've been other videos as well.
Yeah.
But then to be a part of this television thing, that really just goes like so far out. I thank the Lord for the opportunity. I thank
Yeah.
him for laying my name, who I am, and for the most part, um, it it was rooted from, you know, the person that I am, because
Yeah.
when the talks were, from my understanding, there were two people that was asked the question, and the
Yeah.
first person, they gave my name,
Yeah.
and then second person that they contacted, they talked the first and second person, they knew each other, but they are in two different states.
Yeah.
And I know both of them.
Mhm.
And the second person said was notified that the people had already that previously spoke with the first person
Yeah.
uh, and everything. And the first person, uh, it was like, okay, so who did he say? And then she was told who he said. He was like, oh yeah, I mean, you need to look no further.
Gotta pick him. You gotta pick him.
Man,
We
right
want him.
That's the thing. Don't go any
You're
further.
like discussing it, and you're like not even aware what's going on. But like you say, your name will be spoken in rooms.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
You had never stepped foot in, you
Hmm.
know, and I give that, that grace and honor and all to the Lord and to me, I mean, I want to be kind, I want to be helpful to anybody that allow me uh
Yes,
to do
yes,
so because everyone won't allow you to help them. Everyone
yeah,
want to be nice to them. Uh, you
yeah.
know, and be of assistance. Um, I give unsolicited assistance because that's still it goes back to being a part of the Holy Spirit. Now
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I am not a 100% saint. I do fall short. Romans in 23.
We all,
3,
we all.
you
Yeah,
know, I am not perfect, but I want to be, and I want to be the best person I can be, and I
yeah.
want to help whoever I can help. You don't have to ask me to
Right.
help, you know. And
Well, you
see
know what
color.
I see though, not to cut you off. What I see though, although like you're saying you're not a saint and stuff like that, from how I was taught, it's different from either being a saint and righteousness and pure. And I do see you have a level of pureness because of how you operate, your leadership, who you are, what you do, what you exhibit. So you are pure. You
Yeah,
are.
thank you,
Definitely you are. And a righteous man. You
thank you.
definitely are. And I whoever you come into contact with, I hope that I know, matter of fact, I'm not hope, I know that they can feel that same thing and see that same thing. You exhibit light, you are light. And
That's
you
right.
and we all make mistakes. But yeah,
Yes,
you are definitely pure.
that's
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Um, I do want to say, however, before with our closing, that it's definitely appreciated with you coming onto the show. Um, you have so many things going on. I saw that you have plenty of performances coming up. If I'm not mistaken, with the date I saw, was it June 27th is the next one? Um,
Yes,
Yes, okay. So with those performances and everything coming up, we want to make sure that we support you. We'll be following your page, going out there through the different platforms, through YouTube and so forth. And just continue to see you thrive out there, listening to our that good music, that woman of mine and things like that. So once again, it's always good to have a familiar face, to be able to see that of Kindred or someone out there from Mississippi. So it's definitely a pleasure, definitely a pleasure having you with us today. So just before we close out, was there anything else that you wanted the fans, the audience to know?
yes. So I've given you all ways that you can find my music. Now you can locate me on social media platforms. That's Facebook. That's Carlos Hall. There will be a guy with a pink shirt on, black pants, with a microphone in his hand, with a band playing behind it. That's me.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Instagram, that's Carlos, that's CARLOS underscore Hall, HALL 601. TikTok, that's Mr. Carlos 87.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys have heard it here. Go make sure that you follow, go through all the different platforms so we can support Mr. Carlos. Follow him on your social media networks and make sure you give him a shout out when you connect with him. Make sure you tell everybody how you found and are listening to Carlos, Mr. Carlos. So, yeah,
One more thing.
yeah,
If you're not watching the Oprah Winfrey Network
yeah.
and viewing Bell Collective, is not about me, but it's about those ladies. Tune in. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. On
So when y'all see me missing on Friday, you know what I'm doing.
you know, so like I say, I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. It's
You're
been a pleasure
welcome.
speaking with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. So from we're going to end that all, you guys. You heard it here. We had our Yazoo City award-winning stage performer, Southern Soul extraordinaire, Mr. Carlos here. And we thank you for caring, coming out and letting the audience know a little bit more about yourself, continuing your journey, reflecting, and considering persevering with purpose and growth. So, as we close today, we want you guys to continue to do as we always say: be well in wellness and in love.
That's
Peace.
right. And just remember, a man or woman can only do what's in their heart. If it's not in them, it won't come out.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. You guys have a nice one. Be well.
Times are hard, things have gotten rough. My woman never complains about having enough. The love she gives is all that I can stand. That's one reason I'm her #1 fan. That's why I love, oh, I love that woman of mine, that woman of mine. No complaints, no complaints, y'all. As long as she's doing fine, doing fine. The love she gives is all that I can stand, I can stand. That's one reason, that's one reason.